Most people do not know that they have the power to be in charge of their life and take the reins or the steering wheel of their life and do something about what's happening. I am tired of seeing people living out a life of average and feeling that they have no options. We are the determining factor of all of our outcomes. If you're blaming some other person, place, or thing, wake up. If you could understand the power that you have, your life would shift immediately, because what a man thinks in his heart, so is he. My primary mission on this earth is to wake up this planet. Wake up! We have a vibrant life inside of us ready to burst forth. Are you ready to jump off of that merry-go-round with me? And let's go create a life that you're going to be happy about? You know, you're going to struggle through it, but at least you're the one building it. Wouldn't that make some sense? Good afternoon, my friends. Today it is going to be story time. And I'm going to read to you a little bit from my book. This is it right here, The Wake Up Call. This is an interactive read for building the life you want. I have not spent a lot of time promoting my book or really doing anything much to get it out to the world. And I think I have done a disservice to you and to the effort that I put in writing this book. This book is an accumulation of my over 34 years of work in mental health and emotional well-being, and also all the years prior to that of my overcoming one situation after another that most people would say is tragic or traumatic. But the way I look at it, it was my training ground. It was my training ground to be able to help as many people as possible throughout the course of my life, because this has been my calling, to own counseling centers and to really just be there to support and help people understand the power that is within them. I'd like to read a little bit to you from my book. And this is not very traditional, but I really value the beginning in first chapter. And I'm going to let you know what that is. Basically, chapter 1 is who is in charge of your life? And it's about taking back your reins. Most people do not know that they have the power to be in charge of their life and take the reins or the steering wheel of their life and do something about what's happening. So with Ralph Waldo Emerson says, do not go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. These are my questions for you. Have you ever stopped to consider who is in charge of your life? What has determined where you live, who you live with, and why? How have you arrived at your current circumstances? What do you really want in your life? That is one of the hardest questions that people have to answer. And I've struggled with it myself tremendously. What do you really, really want? And do you believe that if you did one thing in your life today, and you did that thing every day, even if it's 5 minutes a day, could you change your life? I know the answer is yes. No matter what, it is yes to that question. I have seen countless good-intentioned souls living their lives unhappily, or better said, in a perpetual state of average. I am tired of seeing people living out a life of average and feeling that they have no options. They don't know the greatness inside of them. They don't know the power inside of them. They don't know what they can be, what they can do, and what they can have, because they have bought the lie that has been conditioning us forever, that tells us that mediocrity is life. And it's not true. If you look around you and you look at the majesty, look at nature. What made us buy a lie that says that mediocrity is our leader, that average is the path to go on? When I see any way the masses are going, I'm going in the other direction, because you want to go in the direction of your excellence, of your vibrancy, of your passion, of who you were made to be. How come all of us have different fingerprints? How come all of us are different? because we have unique abilities, we have unique characteristics that are designed internally inside of us, inside of our DNA. It's like little packages of information that really are just have to be awakened. I always think of it like an apple seed. You've heard me say this over and over. We are like an apple seed that has inside of it all of the information necessary to grow. Think about that teeny apple seed will grow to be an unbelievably huge, vibrant tree that produces fruit forever in its whole lifespan, and it overproduces. Have you ever noticed that apple trees, that there's apples all around? I grew up with apple trees and pear trees and so many different vibrant fruit trees on my property when I was growing up. And there was always rotten fruit everywhere around the trees. And it dawned on me one day, I felt a small whisper in my heart coming from God that said, and you wonder about abundance. Like, I overproduce everything. Think about it. Look at the vast nature of our sky, the stars, the ocean. Stop playing small. Next story time. Okay, truth will be our hero today. Truth is your hero. Human beings are naturally designed to run on an automated operating system. We are conditioned unconsciously to believe where we are is where we belong, and that we do not deserve more than what we currently have. Or worse yet, we believe we don't even deserve what we do have. Most of us learn to accept our current circumstances as our destiny. It is my great honor today, my beloved audience, whoever you are, to introduce you to the power that resides within you. You have the superpower that allows you to take back the reins of your life and rewrite your own life story. This is a fact. These words are overused in our society today, but they are true. We are the determining factor of all of our outcomes. If you're blaming some other person, place, or thing for your lot in life, wake up. It's not true. And you can go all the way to your grave believing that and blaming others and live a life as a victim, or you can choose to take a look inward, look at yourself, look at your programming, and change the course of your life. Because what a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Thoughts are things. We actually are the creators of everything. There's two creations, and they all begin with an idea. They all begin with thoughts. They all begin with how we water those thoughts, the emotion we attach to it, how much determination we put into it, how much belief and faith we put into these little still sparks of life that are inside of us that we desperately want, but never tell people. Now it's time. You're going to wake up. You don't have to tell anybody but yourself. Here we go. It is my greatest hope that you will take seriously and do the simple acts described here to have a life beyond your wildest dreams. From the time we are born and throughout our lives, we are collecting data through our five senses. This data is creating a neurological system that ultimately drives every single outcome of our lives. Consider the magnitude of this. Do not brush over this last statement that I say in this book. Remember the wake-up call. I would suggest you get it. Hear this again and change the course of your life. Our bodies collect data without ceasing. It is non-stop. The synaptic connections that are made by the meaning we have attached to those little nuances, those different micro bits of information that are coming in, becomes the belief system that silently controls every choice we make. It is the dictator of our thoughts, our feelings, and our overall state of being. Wouldn't you agree that something that has that much influence over us is worthy of deliberate attention? Stop what you're doing now and consider being deliberate and knowing yourself, knowing what's inside of you. We have cars, we have all this different electronic tools that we use, but we very rarely take the time to understand our operating system. Our operating system is our body. It is made up of chemicals. It is made up of all of these neurological, electrical impulses. It is made up of all the vast things that it's made up of. However, we don't stop and learn. We learn anatomy, biology, and all these things at school, but do we learn how to maximize the use of our body to create? We haven't. And it's a sin that it's not taught in school. If I have anything to do with it, I'm going to teach as many people as I can. So imagine this for a moment. We're going to take deliberate attention. Imagine this, each subtle nuance you have experienced and will experience throughout your lifetime will be categorized into something manageable and understood by your brain. Our reticular activating system, it's the RAS, it's a little filter in our brain that determines what passes into our unconscious mind, which is the dictator of everything that we're doing. I'm ahead of myself. I'm reading the book and telling you at the same time, but it screens all the information, ensuring that our focus remains only on the data that supports what has already been programmed there. The issue with that is that if you programmed that you are unworthy in there, your reticular activating system will filter out everything that does not match that. That's why if you feel unworthy and then someone tells you how worthy you are or worthy things happen for you or to you, you do not believe them or you make them go away because your belief system, unconscious mind, is running the show. Remember this. That's why things that are good about you, if you believe negative things, don't resonate as true. Because the only thing that will resonate as true is what is already built inside. What this means is startling. If, for example, you experience your dad yelling at your mom while you were playing with a new toy at the table, your brain would need to assign meaning to this moment. So here's this dad yelling at this mom. You're a little baby, 4 years old, and you're playing with a toy, and this dad suddenly starts yelling at the mom about the toy at the table. Now, this child may not know that the mom has a spending problem and that the dad is a rageaholic or that all of the various things that could be involved with this ignited moment at the table. All the child knows, because children from 0 to 7 years old and beyond are egocentric, which means that anything that's happening around them is their fault. They are the creators of it because they understand that. So now the nuance of this experience, the dad pops off at mom. Now the child thinks, oh, a variety of things. And every child would be different. One child would think, oh gosh, playing is bad, or one child might think men are mean, or one child might think women don't listen well and they're bad. There's so many varieties of beliefs that could develop right in that moment. Or I should not have fun because fun makes dad mad. Do you understand this? Do you understand that all of us have developed these misrepresented ideas inside of us that create beliefs that most likely are not true, or they're distorted in some way? So now, this child has assigned meaning to that moment. And let's say that your attached meaning was that playing is bad. This is what I have written here. They say that your attached meaning was playing is bad. That is a very simple conclusion, not unlike a child's way of thinking. Most of our early experiences are simplified and become building blocks of our belief system. Understand this. You have some basic building blocks, that every one of us have developed an idea about what a man is, what a woman is, how a man and a woman relate to one another, what a child is, what a dog is, what, a sunny day is, what a rainy day is. How many people have I heard, which I don't like, say, oh my God, it's shitty out because it's raining. And I think to myself, where did they get that conclusion? I happen to have a mom that would say, oh my goodness, it's raining. Get your brightest colors. Let's get outside. It's raining. Let's have an adventure. What a beautiful day. Now, it says in the Bible, Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. I still think rainy days are beautiful and exciting and adventurous. And I would open up my deck doors when it was raining outside with my kids, and I would say, turn on the hose. Let's play with water, even when it was raining. Like, let's get some cups and let the rain fill it up and see how fast it goes, because rain is good. And I believed it, but I was taught that. And I passed that on to my children. My kids all like the rain now. And it's funny, the majority of the world doesn't. How come? Oh, you can't go outside, it's raining. Why the fudge not? Who made that rule? I'm like, it's raining, let's get outside. When it's raining, I love to go run in the rain. I love to ride my bike in the rain. I love to work out in the rain. I love to walk my dogs in the rain. My dog was afraid of the rain. I said, come on, Peyton, let's go out for a walk in the rain. She's not afraid anymore. She's still afraid of thunderstorms, though. Back to the book. Here we go. We are unfortunately not taught in school, crime alert, that we are auto-programmed and that this will one day be informing our adult outcomes. How the hell could we be living a life and not know this? Any person who does not know this right now, that you are auto-programmed and that you were not taught this in school, should we not be shouting this from the rooftops and letting the public system know and all the teachers of our children that possibly there is something being held back from their information that would make their life better? Just a thought. On with the book. We have been taught instead to change our behaviors, making tireless attempts at controlling our outside environment to somehow generate the inner happiness we long for. It's not happening on the outside. It's only happening on the inside. We learn to hack at the leaves to kill the undesired fruit, arriving at a perplexed and frustrated state as the fruit inevitably produces itself again and again. So here we have an orange tree, and we keep hacking off the oranges because we want apples. This is how the majority of human beings are living their life. Are you ready to jump off of that merry-go-round with me? And let's go create a life that you're going to be happy about, that you're going to, you're going to struggle through it, but at least you're the one building it. Wouldn't that make some sense? Okay. Without taking the time to assess where we are, to understand the root system that continues to produce outcomes, we end up repeatedly in the same place, frustrated, confused, feeling like a victim of our environment, asking ourselves why all of our hard work does not create what we want so much. We kind of throw our hands up, go, oh, I guess it is what it is. Never say that again, please. It's a stupid statement. It's only what you create it to be. This is not your fault. Awareness is the remedy for the escape from mediocrity. We often do not even know we are lost. We think it is our fate, that we are just not meant for the greatness we secretly hope for. We are taught to ignore the truth. Our internal blueprint moves us towards places, people, and events that are not of our choosing. We think that is what life has to offer us. We don't even see the numerous paths available to us. Most of the population is living in this automated state. My primary mission on this earth is to wake up this planet. You hear the wake up call, the wake up call. I'm probably going to change the name of my book because it's so overused. However, that's how I feel. Wake up. We have a vibrant life inside of us ready to burst forth. Think of the acorn. The acorn is a mighty oak tree. When you look at it, does it look that way? No, that's us. We are born into a family, and this is our first understanding of this world and how we become conformed to it. In the context of the small family unit, our neurological network is created. This is where our belief system is born. This is where it continues to grow, and this is where it's maintained. In order to create our lives, we must see what's there. Nothing measured, nothing improved. We begin our life in this family. with 100 billion neurons and develop synaptic connections between these neurons at a rate of 2 million per second. By the time we are between 2 and 7 years old, we have 1.5 quadrillion synaptic connections. And to put this in context, there are 15 zeros in quadrillion. In other words, you have 1,500 trillion synaptic connections that came about as a result of the meaning that has been assigned to each experience in your young life. Please conceptualize this. Think of it in the concept of a child's perspective, considering the conclusions drawn by an infant, a toddler, and a young child. Would you like those beliefs, that to be the foundation of your belief system? And would you like this to be your limitations in life? I certainly hope not. As our brain orients to each situation, our programming or the navigation system we use and build upon throughout our lives has been constructed. So that's our foundation. Think of it like a computer. Whatever is programmed into it will direct its capabilities. What they say with computers is true of brains: garbage in, garbage out. What is inside of you? And instead of trying to clean the garbage without, how about cleaning what's inside? Let's get off our egos. Let's get off our victim mentality. I believe, as an owner of counseling centers, as a lifelong psychotherapist and I'm pretty damn good at it, with an expertise in so many different areas, the one thing we see that is a number one killer of lives is the victim mentality. People who just will not look at themselves and make the necessary changes to change their life. If you could understand the power that you have, your life would shift immediately. If you understand that it is not compelling. Let me change that. It actually is compelling to be a victim. It's comforting. People love to take care of you, nurture you. No, poor baby. You know what? It gets old and people end up not liking it anymore. And the truth is that therapists, which drives me nuts, is that therapists get a bad rap. Therapists get a bad rap, and people think that we nurse these wounds. Well, not at Lager Counseling Services. I think it is true that some therapists may just stay in the diagnosis with people. We don't. We believe once those symptoms are alleviated, which is very possible, right? With a transformation of the way you utilize your body, the way you utilize your mind, the way you utilize your emotion, and the discipline you take on to change these things. Once you are done, your symptoms are alleviated. That's when we step on the gas to create a life of your dreams. Like, how could this be a crazy way of thinking? It's not. It's magical and it's true. And it's the way to live. And I shall move on in my book. Okay, here we go. As our brain orients itself to each situation, our programming or the I already read that. Oopsie. Let's get back. Consider two grown adults who are screaming at each other over the garbage not being taken out. At that moment, there are no adults in the room. Anytime you're in a situation where you're screaming at an adult or an adult is screaming at you, whoever is screaming like that in that kind of way there's not an adult there. We have a very young person who is not emotionally grown from that point in time, and they're triggered. At that moment, there are no adults in the room. How have we become so accustomed to this? This has become a norm. You see it on TV. Everybody kind of talks about that relationships are adversarial. How come? How can we say, well, everybody argues? How about adults talk about things? They learn how to resolve them. They don't have to scream at one another. What has screaming ever solved for you? The low expectations we have for relationships is directed by childhood beliefs, accepting them as truth without question and without seeing their malleability. We often do not want to know our inner beliefs due to the immaturity of them. It's true. The fear they hold, the low self-value they carry. In turn, we avoid looking and pretend they do not exist, but they do. They exist. And it's time to face them. We all have them. We do not have to be ashamed anymore. The ability to see these beliefs will create the maturity in you to bring you to your greatest destiny. In order to crush mediocrity, we need to know what drives it. The greatest news is that we have the power to change the operating system. Our brain is malleable and capable of forming a new blueprint, one that is of our own making. We do not have to rely on old blueprints forged in our childhood, the ones that land us in places we do not want to be. That is not our fate. Science has finally caught up to the concept of free will and the power to create not only our identity, but our life itself. One of the things I always say, I don't understand. I keep putting in my navigation system that I want to go to South Carolina, and I keep ending up in Mississippi. Isn't that what life is like? We think we're doing all the right things, we're getting there, but somehow all these mysterious things kind of shape where we end up. I can tell you that if you think that, I'm going to make up something, that men are angry. I don't think that, by the way, but let's say you do think that men are angry. So now you walk into a room and there's 1,000 people, and all of them, not all of them, the majority of them are smiling. Whoever looks at you is friendly. And there's one man scowling in the corner. Do you know that your brain will not see the smiling faces and the value that the men in the room may have for other people or the way they're interacting? But your mind, your brain will direct you to see the one person that supports your belief that men are angry. And it's on and on and on. This is a fact. I have so much evidence of it, and we can do it in a million different ways. Like if you get a white Tesla every single time, now all of a sudden everybody's got a Tesla. You see it everywhere because your mind is conditioned to it. Okay, in order to crush mediocrity, we need to know what drives it. The greatest news is that we have the power to change this operating system. Our brain can do this. Okay. Often our adjustment to what other people think becomes our primary decision-making tool. This is one of the lines in this book. We say yes when we mean no. Our lives can seem to be on automated treadmill, presenting us with options that we do not want for ourselves and yet believe them as our obligation. These obligations take us hostage to the life we are serving. We think we are supposed to choose a certain narrow path that is laid out for us. So along the path we walk, either not seeing our possibilities, or in my case, not believing I was good enough for them. That being driven by a distorted core belief born in my childhood. Yes. So basically, I can map out one situation after another where I have been dictated by childhood beliefs that have brought me to situations over and over again that were not what I wanted. And it was because I believed things that weren't true. Here's my question for you. What do you believe about who you are, what you're capable of? What do you believe about the kind of relationships you can have? What do you believe about the kind of romantic relationship you can have? What do you believe about how much money you can have? What do you believe about your talent? What do you believe about your capability? What do you believe about your physicality? What do you believe about your intelligence? How far could you go intellectually? How far could you go in terms of where you live or who you live with? What do you believe about yourself? And the next question is, are you certain that that's true? And do you think it's possible that what you believe is what is creating your life? I have so many more things that I could share with you about this, but I'm going to do that on the next podcast because I am literally going to go through this book. I did not finish the first chapter, but we're going to move forward into all the different chapters because of my own distorted beliefs, my own belief in myself, or the value, or what I believe about promoting myself. And a book that I've written, I have a distorted belief about promoting. And what I do realize is that distorted belief that I carry about me sharing something that I built and worked on and believe in with you, somehow I lost my way and have believed that me promoting it is me being pushy or trying to impose something on you that you do not want. And you know where that comes from? Believing I was a burden as a child and believing that what I have to offer isn't enough or it's too much. So, what I want to say to you in a bold, go against the mediocrity way is that this is a book to have. It is a book that I believe in. It comes from the value of my transformation in my life, but it comes with technical, real things. And I am promoting the shit out of this book, not because I want the money, because that's not why I want you to have it. I want you to have it 100%. I never monetize my podcast. I never monetize any of the things I do. All I want is to get this message out to the world. I would love for you to message me. I'd love for you to let me know if you've gotten the book. I would love to sign a copy for you. And if there's I would love also if you'd send me pictures of you with the book in like weird situations, because I'll post them. And I would just love to hear from you if you would do that for me. In the name of let's change our belief system, because I know my belief system has kept this book under wraps. And my great experiences in Arete and with the wonderful people that I know from there, one being Ed Milet, he specifically told me that I got to dust my book off and get it out there. He even thinks I should rewrite it. I do think, and I know I'm changing the cover because it has a picture of me on it, and I just want it to have something different. It was an Amazon best-selling book. However, I would love so much to get this into your hands. We will have the Amazon link in there. And I never did an audio book with this, but that's because I'm not promoting it. I'm telling you the secrets of my inner world. So now I'm going to join you in the path of changing my belief system, and I'm going to become a promoter. What do you think of that? A promoter of something that I believe will really bless you. I really believe it'll bless you. And with all my love, I'll see you next time. And please like, share, comment. My YouTube needs some subscribers because I am like top 3% globally, but for whatever reason, there aren't a lot of subscribers. So people listen all over the world to my podcast, but it doesn't have the subscribers I need to move it forward, to get better guests. I'm a good guest though. Bye guys. See you soon.